So what we have here is what I think is the absolute basics first. Yeah, this is the absolute basics. Um, with sending in the frame, with the vNext, the content, and then this is under the creating the initial frame section of the docs. Uh, we're just not going to make buttons for right now. We can, and we'll get there. I just kind of want to test it incrementally to see if I've totally screwed up yet or not. It's entirely possible. Um, so yeah, we're just going to include these top two here because it's going to be static. We're not necessarily interested in any kind of responses, dealing with users or anything like that right now. So
Oh,
this,
can you post the URL that you got of that image just so I can stick that in as well?
what kind of response we get in our browser now. So save your file and hit refresh and see what happens. All right, cool. So it sent back HTML that time. And maybe we don't even want to do that because they were just sending the string down. Let me have a look here. Yeah, localhost document. No, it's the same. Just rendered a little bit differently. So yeah, we're embedding here. We can see just like how we saw on, was it the cookies website? Bring that back up. Cookie caster. Oh, it's already open. Anywho, open this one and look at the same thing. Let me refresh here. The cookie caster. They got some additional. Yes. Oh, this is the actual website. But yeah, we can see here. Where did it go? The FC. Try cookies on frame. Cookie caster. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, I think they're just responding with the string. But if we look here, they're responding essentially with the same stuff that we are. Let me put these back next to each other. So we have our HTML head, and then our meta properties, which is the frame with the content. That's the frame, and is that frame image? Interesting. Oh yeah, frame FC frame image, same thing. So yeah, we are indicating that we want to render a frame and that we have an image. So our browser didn't know what to do with this, and that is correct. The browser shouldn't be doing anything with this. We don't have we don't have any body. We just have a complete HTML document that is all head. It doesn't have any body, anything like that. And this is strictly for Workcaster to try and figure out what to do with it. Okay, so in theory, we have a completely functional. Uh, but yeah, in theory, we have a completely functional. Let me see. Frame. It's totally static and boring and does nothing. Can't respond. Doesn't have any buttons, but we have a frame. So this is the part where it gets a little bit trickier. So if you refresh your page and you get this blank screen, you're doing the right thing. That means you're sending HTML back, um, and that's good. That means it's not just rendering the text. That means our back end and our front end. It picked up our change. It's not just spitting back out that plain text. Uh, but this is the part I was talking about before where we have to figure out where we're going to host it because Workcast can't right now. It can't query our server because our server only exists on our machine and it needs to be available on the wider internet. So there's not really a turbo super simple way for me to do this. I'm just going to use my provider of choice, and you can do the same thing. Can't really use Vercel because they're looking for API routes. I guess you could restructure the folders, but I haven't used Vercel for API stuff in a while.
Wait. So
Yes, I am personally a really big fan of Railway for my infrastructure stuff. I endure AWS at work because I have to. But yeah, for launching my one-off stuff, it's either this or Fly, but Fly's a lot more complicated. Um, so yeah, long and the short of it is pick a hosting provider. If you just want to take my recommendation, it's railway.app. If you have a GitHub account, you can have a Railway account, or you can sign up without it. But I recommend linking your GitHub just so you can do a very easy wire it all up and get it shipped. So what I'm doing now is committing my files to Git. You just you want to use Git as much as you can. This allows you. So right now, in theory, your code is working. I haven't heard anything from anyone, so I'm assuming it's working. Right now, your code's working. You want to protect this state of the universe, if you will, of your code. You don't. If you screw it up in the future, you want to have a checkpoint, if you want to think about it that way, to come back to. And that's what we're doing right now. So I've added git add and then the period. The period just means your current working directory. Uh, and that'll stage all of your files. And then you commit with a message and we'll say init classic. So that saves our files to Git. That commit -m just means you're committing and specifying a commit message. And then you should get a response with the hash of the commit and kind of the changes you made. So you all, yeah, see, this is where it gets into GitHub and stuff like that. And you kind of have to be a little bit, have a little bit of the tooling and stuff like that. So if you have a GitHub account, basically what you want to do is go ahead and set up a repository. Let's see, and we'll call it what is that? Hold on. GitHub repository. You don't want to. You can add the name. You can add description if you want to, but you just need a repository to hold your code. And then once you've done that, I know I'm making a lot of assumptions here, but yeah, if you already have the code, so you want to follow this second option here, just copy that line by line to get it into GitHub. I know that's not necessarily turbo user friendly, but
Oh my god, I just got here and this is so amazing. Oh. Where are you?
Alpha.
Yes.
boom. All right. Anywho, add my remote origin. I already have branch main as my default. That's fine.
Oh, Zarg,